All right. This is what we call a cold. Oh, wait, what are you doing? You're not
I,
finished. What are you?
I wasn't even with you. I was trying to.
You have to be even with me? What do you
Yeah,
mean, what's not
'cause it
even with me?
it
By
threw
the way,
me off
welcome
because
to
I
the
was.
show. Uh, uh, for those that aren't watching via video,
Yeah.
you have no idea what's going on right now. I said, hey, we're rolling,
Mm-hmm.
and you decided that's the perfect moment to grab your camera and start manipulating it. What is not even about us right now?
No, because I was down further. Like we weren't
You're
even on the
shorter.
screen.
You're a
Well, I
shorter
know,
person.
but I don't want to appear shorter
Well, you do. I'm
for
sorry.
video
You're,
purposes.
you're much tiny. Look at the size of my head
I know.
compared to your head.
I feel like that's a look at what Jace is gonna look
Yeah,
like.
yeah. He's gonna
Sure.
be. Yeah, he's gonna be a
Mhm.
monster. Hey, welcome to the show, episode 13. We're
Yeah.
trying. We have not forgotten about our intro music. We're just trying. We're experimenting.
Yeah, we are.
Oh yeah, we said let's do a cold open
Mhm.
today
See how it goes. Made
because
it
it's
weird, so that
cold
was
as
good.
hell everywhere in the
Mhm.
country when we're recording this right now. We're like, let's just go ahead and follow suit.
Yeah. Mhm.
No, really, it's been like cold in Florida.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
Yeah, which
Like
is
freezing,
unusual.
literal freezing
Yeah.
temperatures.
But I mean, that's kind of it is unusual for Florida
Mhm.
for that to happen. But
Yeah.
I do want to, before we get into all the crazy chaos and fun that we're going to have, that's nothing compared to what's going on in California. I mean, have
Oh,
you
yeah.
watched some of that?
Oh
Oh my
gosh.
gosh, it's
Yeah.
horrible. Horrible stuff. But I wanted to just mention that because if you can help there, you grew up in Florida.
Mhm.
I've lived in Florida for long enough to experience several hurricanes. That's the
Yeah.
closest thing I can relate to.
Yep.
Is that's a big
Me
natural
too. Yeah.
disaster that affects thousands of people at once, if not
Right.
hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of people at
Mhm.
once,
Mhm.
and displaces that many people. They're talking about hundreds of thousands of people displaced.
Yeah.
And I mean, LA's obviously a massive city and everything around it.
Right.
It's so heavily populated. But so what I'm saying is, you know how long it takes to clean up a hurricane.
Yeah. It's not
I mean,
easy.
and then you see this where it's, I mean, it's a massive scale in such a highly dense area of population. It's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is if you can help,
Mhm.
there are lots of different ways to donate.
Yeah.
The Red Cross is involved out there.
That's right. Yeah.
Salvation Army, the that World Central Kitchen, which I know they were,
Mhm.
in Florida for several of the
Yeah.
hurricanes,
Hurricanes.
experienced. California Fire Foundation, Wildfire and Disaster Relief Fund.
Mhm.
Those are a few of the different things you can donate to if that's one way you can help. But I saw a quote from somebody and I thought it was really good. It's like, you may feel overwhelmed because you're like, I can't help everybody. I don't have
Right.
that type of money. I don't. Then do for one person what you wish you could do for everybody,
Right. Yeah.
and that will make a difference.
Yeah. That's
Do
like
for one person.
our friend Skip that says, everybody doesn't have to save the world, but everybody can do their
Yeah,
little. Their
yeah,
little, whatever your little is, whether it's $5, $100, whatever the case may be, do
exactly.
that. And that's going to build up snowball effect and make a really big difference.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So do help because it'll take a long time for those guys to get back to whatever their new normal will be
Yeah.
after all these wildfires are finished and controlled. But they're going to need some help in rebuilding that stuff. So because we know we've been through
Yeah.
similar kind of things from that,
Right.
and it
Right.
takes a while, and it takes a while for you to even understand what happened.
Yeah. Seriously.
So yeah, we'll get to that. All right. Let's see here. We have got a lot going on the show today.
Mhm.
I want to start by asking you, Flip, what makes you weird?
Um, I would say the fact that I'm not done with the walk of shame like I thought I was.
Wait, hold up. What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
It's not what you think. It's not what
Okay.
you think, my
All
friend.
right.
It's what you
It's
think.
Flip and Street or Make It Weird. We'll talk
Absolutely.
about it. Yes, we do make it weird. I can't wait to touch on that in a little bit. We're going to find out what the heck you are talking about. Thanks for listening. Episode 13. You can follow us, like us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Make sure you follow us on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, anywhere you listen to podcasts, we are there, and we would appreciate a follow, a like, and a share. Flipping Street or Make It Weird, so we can continue to grow. And we are continuing to grow our listenership each week, improving by like half a person. So that's cool. I don't even know how that works, because I was like, this week you had 27 and a half. Like, how's that even? What do you mean? So you know who you are if you gave up listening halfway through the podcast. You know who you are.
That's right.
We're not proud
Hopefully
of you.
we'll keep you the whole time.
Well, hopefully we'll keep you the whole time this week. Let's start with the good news. What is going on? Obviously, there's a lot of crazy stuff in the news that we started, talking about, a lot of terrible things, but there's a lot of good things. There's so much good still happening in the world. And let's start with that. Flip, what's going on?
There are a lot of good things. Focus in India today. There is a Colonel Dr. Rajinder Singh, and he is the founder and director of this addiction center in Punjab.
Okay.
His methods, they've helped over 10,000 patients kick addictions stemming from a variety of underlying causes. And he had opened this center years and years ago. He is 91 now, but you would not.
Oh my gosh.
He works all the time in this place, and he's planning to open a third location here pretty soon. But he says, especially
that'll be pretty soon.
Right. Especially Army personnel, they are exposed to all these highly stressful situations.
Yeah, that's true.
Long periods away from home can affect their mental health. Some even have, PTSD after combat and war and things. So in every case, though, his method is the same: physical exercise, organized sports, yoga, medical treatment if needed, and introducing the concept of service inherent to his Sikh faith.
Oh my gosh.
Faith, without any room for preachiness. So he doesn't, berate these people or anything like that. But he believes that the root cause of addictions is in the certain experiences that everyone has battled, and that, they can have like a reckoning with those who have harmed them. That's the end goal in all of this rehab and everything. But he's helped over 10,000 patients there in his home country.
That's amazing. Number one, I mean, so amazing for someone to be able to help that many people and make a difference in that many people's lives. And I love his system. I was going to say that's good for everybody. Getting, exercise is so important. That can help. We always and organize sports because you feel a part of a team. You feel valued. You contribute to something. That's as simple as, that's why I'm a big believer that, all your kids should be involved in at least one type of organized sport or activity like that, because I think that's exactly what it promotes teamwork.
Yes.
You don't let others down. It promotes, feeling valued, and feeling like you're contributing to something. And if you don't, the team's going to let you know, usually.
Right.
Somewhere or not, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to let you know. So you're held accountability.
Science class in high school.
Accountability with that too. So that's awesome. Brittany, like that's like my basic thing. Exercise, in my sports, obviously I play a lot of tennis, that. I play doubles. So I guess it's a team. I guess it's a team sport. When I'm playing doubles, it's one other person on there usually. But
because you can't,
if I don't play
across the court, you just need someone to cover that half.
Need to cover that half. That's too much. That's too much. At 10 feet.
No singles.
We don't need. I can't do 20 feet. No, but Brittany always jokes. She's like, don't miss your tennis, so you don't become a horrible person. And don't miss your sports so you don't become, because I can't function as well. I really can't. If I don't do my exercise, if I don't get that out of my system, or if I don't, have my, my exercise and that kind of that discipline, then I'll shove food in my mouth uncontrollable. Like really, like that, like I'll stress it. I'll have anxiety. I'll be more irritable if I don't get those things done. So I think he's onto something. That doctor's onto something major.
It really does affect your mood, even if it's walking around the neighborhood or something, for a few minutes every night, something like that. Something that just, helps boost your energy and your happiness and all that kind of stuff. And it prevents you from really overeating and stuff, because you're like, hey, I worked out today. I can't eat well. Some people, it's kind of like half and half. It's like, I can eat this whole tub of ice cream. I played tennis today. Or you could say, no, I played tennis today. I'm working on my body. I
Yeah.
can't eat this ice cream. I'll cross the line between
That's what
Tuesday.
I was gonna say. I'm about 50-50 on that too. Like some days, actually, it's more like, all right, I played sports today. I can eat all
Right.
this. And then the next time I'm like, I played sports today. Last time I ate all that. So this time I
Uh-huh.
can't. And then
Yeah.
I think it just somehow kind of,
Right.
evens itself out in the long run. I
Yeah.
hope.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
that's what I'm shooting for. We got a lot to talk about today. That is an awesome story, and again, like props to that doctor. I so hope that he lives to 120, and he can
Right.
open up 5 more of those places if he,
Yeah.
if he so desires, which is
Mhm.
so cool. We got a lot to talk about because I still want to hear about what the heck this walk of shame thing is, and we've got to get through our That's So Florida and what, a couple other things before we get there. So let's go to That's So Florida. You've got, let's start with what you've brought to the table today, because mine, I think, is going to blow your mind, what
Oh,
happened in my That's So Florida. So let's start
okay.
with yours. Not saying yours is going to be worse.
Okay.
I'm just
No,
excited to share with you
all
what
right.
is
No,
going
it's
on in
okay.
this.
You already
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
discounted it. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
no, you're saying that yours is gonna blow your mind. Well, mine lost his mind. This
I like what you did
36-year-old
there.
man in Pennsylvania lost his mind the other day on
Uh-oh.
drugs,
Oh,
coincidentally. He
okay.
showed up at this random woman's house, butt naked, punched her,
Oh, no.
prayed
Oh,
loudly. He started praying
wait, prayed
loudly,
loudly?
talked about the Lord,
Okay.
drank some toilet water,
Oh,
assaulted a couple of police officers, and left one of them with broken ribs.
this is all in one day. This
One
is
day,
all
in
one
the
guy,
span of like a few
one
minutes.
little incident. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I mean, he's really messed
Just a
up.
random Tuesday.
Wow.
Tuesday morning in
Okay.
Pennsylvania.
I mean, yeah, exactly. The part that's weird is like he's going on this rampage, and then all of a sudden, just in the middle, he's decides to pray and talk to the Lord.
Uh-huh.
Was
Yeah.
he, did he have a moment of clarity there, or was that
I
still
don't
just
know.
part of
I
his?
don't know. Like, I don't know if he was one of the Amish, because it's like
Yeah.
good Amish country up there. I don't know if he was just
Oh,
one of
that's
those
true. You're right.
Amish
There are
riding
some.
around
Yeah. I
on
don't
his
think so.
buggy, and
It
he's
doesn't
like, "Let me
sound
just
like it.
stop at this random woman's
That
house
doesn't.
and
I don't
tell
think
her
so.
the good news,
Yeah.
the message of Jesus
I don't think it was
and
that. I don't think it
salvation."
was that at all.
I don't
I
know.
was just thinking maybe for a second he had a little moment of clarity. He's like, please forgive me for what I've done. Oh, okay, never mind. Toilet water. And then I don't know. You know what? That's interesting because
Yeah.
I don't know. You might top. I don't know if you're gonna top mine.
Uh,
This, I've never heard anything quite like this before in my life. We've talked
okay.
about a lot of bank robberies
Mhm.
before on the show, and people that attempt to rob banks, and they never work out well.
Right.
Very rarely are we
Yeah.
like, and they got away, right?
Starts out like, "Oh, could be onto something," but then it gets kinda weird in the middle and ends
Yeah.
very badly.
Well, this one starts off very odd, and in the middle is kind of odd and ends normally because he was
Oh,
arrested. Didn't
oh,
work. Spoiler alert. And ends
okay.
normally, but it starts off very odd.
Mhm.
Guy walks into a bank,
'Kay.
says, "I'm robbing the place,"
Uh-huh.
and the bank teller's like, "Okay, what
Alright.
is that you have there as your weapon?" Oh,
Yeah,
funny you should ask.
the gun.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is a live beehive. Let's not make these bees angry,
Oh,
because if they're angry, y'all getting stung. And turn over that money, or else I'm going to tell them to sting you right now.
what?
No, this is real.
A
Here,
beehive.
he
A
walks into the
beehive
bank
with bees.
with lots of bees
What in
in
the
the beehive,
winnie-pooh is happening right now?
and he says, I'm robbing the place. I will release these bees on you if you do not hand me this cash right now. This is true. I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up at all. Guy walks into bank, live beehive, says, I'm going to release them, and they're going to sting you if you don't give me the cash that I want.
Huh.
Well, panic ensues
Uh-huh.
among all the customers. Ah,
Right.
geez.
Some people that are allergic
Yeah,
go
exactly.
into anaphylactic shock.
No! Yeah, exactly. Everybody there, no! Give him anything he wants, not the bees. And but unfortunately, he didn't get everything he wanted fast enough
Oh, oh
because
no.
during
Showed
that
up.
time, cops showed up,
Uh,
because of all the chaos. I don't even think they even had to call the cops. They just were like, "What is happening at the bank right now?" So there's reason number one not to use a live beehive as a weapon because of all the
Right.
chaos that initially stirs up. Can't hide that very well. Anyway, so the cops show up, they arrest him without incident. They did ensure the safety of not only all of the individuals, but also the bees. Bees are
Yeah.
safe. Bees
Those
were
are
unharmed, and
bees are important too,
they're
so
very
good
important.
that they saved them.
Yeah, but now the suspect does face charges of attempted robbery and use of a dangerous weapon.
That's considered a
So
dangerous weapon.
it is.
Okay.
It
All right.
is.
I
Yeah.
wonder if they just had to amend that after this situation, or if
They
there's
they might still be
actually been
working on it
another
right now.
one.
They're trying to work on it right now, trying to figure out how to
If he
charge
actually
this guy.
looked at
Yeah.
previous things, it was like, oh, it was like looking
Yeah.
down all the options. I'm just trying to imagine this guy looking down all the options
Of his,
that
yeah,
he could
and
go
his
into a bank with, all the different
yeah,
options, and
yeah,
he
that's a
lands
good
on
point.
beehive.
That's a good point. You know, I
He
mean, yeah,
lands on beehive.
like every house has a shovel. I'd
Like,
pick a shovel over a beehive. I
feel
feel
like
like
there
you could do
are so
more.
many more efficient, not that I'm
Yeah.
encouraging anyone to do this,
No.
but that
No.
there are so many more efficient
Yeah.
ways and weapons to use.
Take a cat. I
I
mean,
mean,
I don't know. I
right?
mean, if, yeah, take a
Yeah,
cat and then like have, I don't know.
have
I
some
don't want to give
chickens
any
to deal with,
ideas. Yeah, I don't want to
and
give any
then,
ideas. They're all horrible ideas.
right.
I'm just saying, you're right. You're right. There's a list of items. There's a list of
Yeah,
things
that's
you'd
so
have to
many
check
things
off
above.
first.
Yeah,
Yeah. You'd have to check off first
yeah.
that you get to live beehive.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Unless you're a beekeeper. Maybe he is a beekeeper
Could
already.
be. I mean, he's thinking outside the box, but that was a little too far.
Well, the beehive was in the box. Interestingly
Oh,
enough.
wow.
Is that worth a no? I don't think so. All right. All right. Speaking of crazy stuff, let's move on to what the what. Real headlines this week or very recently that have been in the news. Some very, very strange stories indeed. Flip. I'll start with this one. I'm gonna start with this one because we've been talking about all the ice and the cold and the polar vortex and all that stuff that's been happening recently here in the US. And these guys, they were out just trying to enjoy the cold. In Massachusetts, that's what you do. That's the only thing you can do in the cold. However, it's very common to do ice fishing up there in, yeah, right, in that area. But this year, they were warned and there were signs not to drive there. You probably already know where this is going.
It's like,
not
you tell
to
me
drive.
not to do something, that's immediately the only thing I want to do.
Well, that's what happened. This is a lake. Apparently, they are used to ice fishing and driving their trucks out onto and their vehicles and such.
Okay.
But this year, there were signs and there were warnings saying the ice is
Don't do
too
it.
thin right now.
Uh-huh.
You should not be out here. Stay away.
Told
Well,
you
these
so.
four guys, they said, nah,
Hold
we're
my
good.
beer.
We're good.
Lord have mercy.
Well, I think you know what happened. They got about 60 feet from shore.
And they weren't good.
And crack. Whole truck, everything right down into the ice. Luckily, the guys were okay. They got out okay. Truck had to be rescued. Of course, that leaked all the fuel and other things into the water. And so they got out of the ice. They said, guys, you okay? You guys all right? And treated them and then gave them hefty fines.
Oh my gosh.
Said y'all are idiots because there were warnings and you ignored them. And now we're going to fine you for it because we're going to charge you for every bit of this cleanup and we're fining you for it.
Well, did they get all the fish though? Because surely that killed all the fish. They just floated out to the top.
I had no word on that. No word on if they did that. And I don't think you want to eat fish that floated up to the top due to ingesting motor oil.
No.
And gasoline. I don't think you want that. So there you go. So that's what's going on in Massachusetts during this polar vortex.
So I've got a little one that's not as funny. Not as funny as yours. It's a little more.
I don't know if I want to get serious. I don't want to get serious. I don't know if I want to get. I'm not ready for this.
So Baba Vanga, who you may not know, is renowned mystic from back in the day.
Forgive me for
No-
not knowing Baba Vanga.
Nostradamus
Oh
also
yeah,
believed
okay, yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
were separated by centuries, but they shared eerily similar predictions for 2025
Oh,
that
please don't.
at a year of turmoil. Both foresaw grave
Already.
conflicts erupting in Europe, with Baba Vanga predicting a war that could leave Russia as the dominant global power. Nostradamus warned of cruel wars leading to Britain's ruin, followed by a deadly plague described as a great pestilence from the past. Baba Vanga also prophesied that humans may finally encounter extraterrestrial life during an unexpected event, such as a significant sporting occasion.
What?
Additionally,
What do you mean? Like they're going to be throwing footballs? And we're like, that's not. There's no way that linebacker is human. And that's how we're going to discover it. Like that dude's 7.5 feet tall, and he's 600 pounds. And how'd they let him get in here with 3 arms?
Additionally,
Like, that's not fair. And then
Baba
okay,
predicted natural disasters, including a catastrophic earthquake on the West Coast, resulting in mass destruction, displacement, and loss of life. These aligned forecasts of war, disaster, and otherworldly contact paint a chilling picture of what might lie ahead in 2025.
Okay. So number one, that is terrifying if all those things, and also there's a lot of bad shit happening already, and we're in first month of January. However,
Mm-hmm.
I do want to note that if you do look at all the things that these people have, Nostradamus and Baba Vanga have predicted, most of them don't come true.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. But if you throw enough stuff against the wall, right? Like when did this guy when was he alive?
Centuries ago.
Yeah. I mean, if that's like you today, okay? You're predicting so much stuff, right? Like, I mean, to get that far in the future, you're just throwing stuff at the wall.
Right.
And so I think that's just what happened.
Back to
there's a good chance.
Pretty right, though.
Back to the Future got it so wrong. So wrong. There's nothing as cool as what the future looked like in Back to the Future.
I know. It's like Back to the Future, the Jetsons, they all promised this stuff. Where the hell is it?
Yeah, exactly. See?
Cars and all the other stuff. Robot Butler.
Anyway, I just don't want everybody to freak out because of all those predictions. I just don't want,
it's just
that we don't need to add any more chaos to the world. I think it's going to be okay. And even if he is right, we've been through this before, and clearly we were just fine in the last pandemic, right? Didn't we? Everything went right. Yeah, nothing went awry with that, so no worries. It's all gonna be fine. We've got it completely under control.
Not in the office. Everybody calm down.
Yeah, everybody calm down. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Oh golly. Well, we'll see. That's fun.
WTF? I mean, that is how
the word. You're right. It's how it all started.
Here started.
And it's how it's going so far. So
off to a great start.
Oh gosh. All right. So we're getting close. We've got to get to the walk of shame here in a second. So that means we got to get to our crazy shit that our kids did this week. My kids, thankfully, have not done anything too crazy this week. Not enough to note, which is good. But I'm gonna go ahead and share this story because I think it's close enough now. My dad did break his toe, and my parents are getting to the age where they're kind of more like my kids than my parents. So I feel like I can include this story, right?
Okay.
When you get when you get, isn't that kind of like,
at some point?
Yeah, I was going to say, don't you find yourself calling in to check on your parents more often than they're calling to check on you these days? Like sometimes, do you do that? You not yet. Your parents are a little younger than mine, I think. But I do. I find myself calling to check on them. Like, hey, you're not out partying again tonight. Hey, like in the snow, they got this big snowstorm, and I was like, you guys didn't go out and they're like, well, we're thinking about shoveling our driveway. Get somebody to shovel your driveway for you We don't need that. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
so anyway, so I don't know. So I'm gonna go ahead and include this in crazy shit your kids did this week.
Okay.
But in typical guy fashion, my dad drops like this massive piece of wood on his toe, and it
Oh.
swells up immediately and is bleeding for for like 2 days. He's like, I think it's fine,
Uh-huh.
and it's like,
That's wound.
yeah, everything's fine.
Yeah.
And he's like, doesn't hurt that bad. And it's like, okay, but that's can't be your gauge. He has a very high pain tolerance. Like I've watched him, like he shot 4 of his his fingers together with a nail gun one time, and he's like, I'm fine, doesn't hurt at all.
See,
And he's just like,
I've always wondered that though about guys. Is it actually a high pain tolerance or is it a high pride tolerance?
well, I think it can be a little bit of both. My dad, I don't think my dad, it's a high pain tolerance.
Okay.
And I don't know. I think it's mainly because he's been in construction
In
type work
construction, yeah.
all his life where everything's
Uh-huh.
so calloused, he can't feel anything.
Mhm.
And so it's like you can like hit his hand anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe why. And he's dropped a lot of things. Hit his, hands with hammers and stuff. Anyway, so my mom, I think finally, I don't know if he decides to go to urgent care, if my mom decides, but they're like, they finally go to urgent care. And like my mom sends a picture of one of the nurses looking at his toe, and her
Oh.
face says 100% of like, that's all I need to know about the situation. So that's all I need to know about you. It's like it's going. It's like, I mean, it's holy. If you could put holy shit in one picture, holy shit, WTF is wrong with this foot. In her face, it's that. It's that.
Oh.
And so they're like calling people over, like, look at this, look at this. And they're like, you're telling us this doesn't hurt? And anyway, so
amputated.
yeah, but luckily I don't think so. They're like, it looks like it's fractured, and we'll give you some
Oh.
antibiotics and some pain meds, and but you got to rest it for a while and stay off of it. So they took
You have
care
to
of it. But
wear a
that's like,
boot.
yeah, he's
Okay.
got to have a little
Yeah.
boot, I think.
Mhm.
I think I saw a picture of him in a boot. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's what's going on with my adult children.
I'm sure he's not wearing that boot all the time like he's supposed
Probably
to.
not. Probably
Uh-uh.
not. You
Mhm.
keep that on, Dad.
So I don't have anything that my kids have done this week
Oh.
necessarily, but I do have something that one of them said.
Oh, okay. What
We were
was
in the
it?
car the other day going to gymnastics, and Ava's in the back seat, and I had turned, I think I was at a red light, and I had turned to look, to make sure there were no cars coming. And as I turned to look, I hear from behind me, "Hey, look, you have gills."
What?
Because when I turn my neck, I'm at the age where
No.
there's
No.
wrinkles that form when my neck turns,
Right, yeah.
and Ava
I don't
calls
have those.
my
Your
gills
gills.
out
You got
there. Never heard that in my life. Like, kids will humble you in
Yeah,
so
they
many ways
will.
because I'm
Yeah.
now, I've got a little bit of, it feels like it's getting loose here. I'm starting to look a little like Ellen DeGeneres right here in the middle.
Yeah, got
She's
that.
got,
Yeah, a little,
got a little
skin
bit of
thing there.
turkey neck happening
Yep.
here that I'm gonna
Yep.
have to maybe a little bit up or
Little
something like that.
tuck it
But
in, get it tucked. Yeah.
especially now, I'm just like, really, gills?
Yeah.
I have gills. So, in case you're
That's
wondering, the term for what the kids are calling it these days.
yeah. No, that's like with Luna sometimes like we'll be playing or something like that. And she's like, I forgot what it was, but we are like, I'm strong and I'm tough and I'm brave. And like, we're going through these things. And like we
Uh-huh.
say it all the time, like I'm strong. I can do this. I'm brave. And I was like this. I was like, yeah, show me your muscles. And she's like, show me yours. I'm like, I'm right here. She's like, no, show me yours. And I'm just like,
No, flex
ah,
though. Flex
yeah,
though.
yeah. She's like, no, I want to see them. Like, actually show me them. I was like, all right, I give up. I give up. Kids will immediately
Yeah.
ruin your day with
Anytime
their
you're
little
feeling great about
comments. Yeah.
yourself, go talk to your
Yeah.
children.
Exactly. Go talk to them. Oh my gosh, freaking kids. All right. What makes you weird, Flip? I've been waiting all show for this. We're 30 minutes
Oh,
in and I got to know. So you started the show. I said, what makes you weird? And you said, I can't believe I'm still doing the walk of shame or something like
uh-huh.
that here today. And it's like, now the walk of shame,
Yeah.
The traditional walk of shame, I would
Uh-huh.
say, isn't that like when you stay over at somebody's house and like the
Yeah.
next day you gotta like walk out with like one shoe
Which I
on and
have
like
never done, by the way.
okay, all right. That's what I was gonna okay, okay,
Never
all
done
right.
the traditional, okay?
Okay, all right. All
Never done
right.
the traditional.
So what is the flips walk of
So the
shame?
untraditional flip walk of shame. So I've been purging the house recently, and I've been
Yeah.
just getting rid of a whole bunch of stuff. And make nothing makes me feel better than just getting rid of shit. And so I've been clearing out everything, and I took a bunch of clothes that don't fit the kids to the consignment store. And I went in with like 4 or 5 like garbage bags of clothes to try to, to sell them, and then
Yeah,
we
yeah,
could,
yeah. We
the
did that.
consignment
Yeah,
store,
we've
then
done.
you
Yeah, yeah,
use
yeah.
the money and you can shop there and da 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 da. So I go in, bring them all in, and you have to fill out the paperwork and everything for the contact information. So after they go through it, they call you and say, "Hey, you can come, collect your money." And
Okay.
so after a day or so, I get a call back and they're like, "Hey, you can come in. We've got everything ready for you. You can come in." And so I go up there and walk up to the counter and I'm like, "Hey, I'm Tiffany Trithall. Like, I'm here to
Get
get
my
my
money.
money."
Yeah, I'm here to get my
And
money.
and she's like, "Oh, okay." And she turns around and she's like looking at the paper and scrolling, like looking
What
down
happened? What is
the
going
list
on?
or something. And
Yeah.
she turns and walks over to the shelf, like they're got all these shelves back there behind the thing that they keep all the stuff that they go through.
Okay. All right.
And she grabs 4 bags of my clothes and gives them back to me.
So they didn't
And
want it.
I'm like, "Oh." She
So
said, "Yeah, well, some of them were a little too loved, and, some had
oh, little
little
too love.
stains on
Get your
them."
nasty ass out of here with your nasty clothes,
They
is
were
what she was
so
trying to say. So
nitpicky
nice.
that
No,
I
they
was
were
just
not.
like,
You have probably had stains and
"Oh,
little things.
okay."
When
So
someone says
I
it's a little too loved, it means
yeah, a
get your
little too loved,
nasty
a little too
stuff out of
loved.
here.
So
That is
so she
amazing.
goes so then the icing on the top, she goes, "Would you like one of us to help you carry it back to your
Yeah.
car?"
Yeah.
I said, "No, thank you. I
You
got
can't
it."
basically you can't get this. We cannot get this stuff out of our building fast enough.
Like, "We will put
That,
it on the
yeah,
curb if you don't."
please let us help you take this stuff out of here. You're stinking
I
up the whole place with this nasty clothes you tried to bring in here.
So
So
I
you had to
had to
walk
do
back.
the
So
walk of shame out of a consignment store.
that's amazing with your own items, taking it back. That is so funny. That brings up a great thing. What is your non-traditional walk of shame? All right, so like that's your non-traditional walk of shame. For me, I
Uh-huh.
get the same feeling. Like if there's two instances where I feel like I get the same feeling. Number one, going into a store, walking around, not
Mhm.
buying
Not
anything,
yes.
and then walking out.
I don't know if it's anxiety or what, but I feel so
Yeah,
guilty
I
walking
do
out. Like, "Here,
too.
you wanna check my purse? I don't have anything in
That's what
there."
I feel like. And like, especially if it's a place that has one of those people that checks receipts or something at the
Right, yeah.
door, and I like
Uh-huh.
walk past with nothing. I'm like, hey, I promise nothing on me. And they're like,
Yeah.
didn't ask. This
Right.
actually makes you more
Yeah.
suspicious.
Okay. Alright. Well,
Now I want to check,
yeah,
you
it's
know,
like,
but
"No,
that's what I
don't."
feel like
Like,
doing when I walk
throw
out
them up. Which,
to one
by
of
the
those.
way,
That's
I
yeah.
just found out that Sam's Club, I the reason that they stopped checking the receipts,
Yeah.
I had no idea. It's because they put the little thing there by the exit, and
Yeah. It automatically
I'm
checks it
I'm
for you.
trying to show. Well, it took me like 6 times before I realized that that's what it was
How?
for. I
What do
don't
you
know, a
mean?
whole
You think they
bunch of
just built a
kids.
portal in there for no
I
reason?
don't know. I had the
It's like a
QR code,
tunnel.
and I'm, like, ready to scan it, and I'm, like, trying to show it to the person, like, here you go. Here's my proof of purchase."
I
And they're
want
just like, "You're good."
hold up
And that
before I
happened to
get
me
in.
so many times, and I'm like, "Wait," and it wasn't until talking to you that I'm like, "Holy crap, that's why they're not
Yeah,
checking me anymore."
I want to know what went through your mind, like this beehive guy, when you walk through this. So I don't know if this is at every Sam's store now, but at our local Sam's,
Uh-huh.
they don't check the receipts at the door anymore. They built these two giant tunnels
Uh-huh.
that you walk
It's
through
not
with your
tunnels,
cart.
it's like arches. It's
There
not
are
holes.
okay, but they're probably 3 feet thick
I mean,
framework,
yeah,
and they're lined with cameras
like
and
scaffolding.
radar guns
No, there
and like,
see,
yes, they are.
I
You haven't
haven't
seen that?
looked up to see any of
There's
that, no.
little things and they're all pointed at, at that where your cart and where you would walk through.
Uh-huh,
They're all
uh-huh.
pointed at that stuff, and little sensors and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I want to know what on earth you think that would be for.
I
What's
don't
if you didn't know it's for checking your card scanner. What did you think they built it for? Go.
I have no idea. I just thought it was, like, for decoration
Yeah,
or some
decoration. Okay,
solar
perfect.
or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
You think it's like if you are caught stealing, that incinerates you right there at the.
Right.
No, but it is cool what they do. That's like that gas station. There's a gas station just outside of Nashville. It's the only one I've seen so far. But I stopped in it when they were passing through. Stopped in there, and like the guy was like, "You don't know, you just scan your credit card, just tap your credit card on this thing and
Uh-huh.
walk out." It's like, but I didn't scan any of my items. No, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, it knows what you picked up. I was like, who knows? Like the
Right.
Lord, I know it knows. That's why I don't steal in general. And they're like, no, this whole there's this, and I look up, and he's like gesturing upwards, and there's like
Yeah.
this whole, I don't know, there's like these sensors or something, and he's like, it knows. I
Yeah.
was like, all right. So you just pick up what you need,
Uh-huh.
and then you scan your card and you leave. Like,
That's
what?
wild.
Like
That's
how?
wild.
How does it know?
Oh my gosh.
And apparently it does. And so I did that, and I haven't been arrested yet. So I guess it works. I guess it's true.
See, I guess I honest to God thought that I go to Sam's Club 3 or 4 times a week, and
Mhm.
I just thought that the people there at the door were like, "Yeah, you're fine. Go ahead."
Yeah,
Honest to
that's
God,
what they
like,
thought of.
that's what I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
thinking. I'm
because
like,
they know
"Okay,
you
I
so
guess I'm
well.
not doing everybody
Yeah, you
these
thought you're
days."
VIP now. That you've earned
I mean,
their
I am a Plus
trust.
member, so,
Yeah, you've earned their trust. No, it's definitely not that. You have not earned their trust. In fact, yeah.
no,
In
just
fact,
become more
they still
suspicious.
checked your receipt a few times after that thing was installed. And that's why you didn't know. Like finally they
Yeah.
were like, no, just stop.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
But so that's one of the walk of shames when you walk out of a store. So number one, you walk out of a consignment store with your own stuff because they
Yeah,
wouldn't take it.
yeah.
That is amazing. That is a great walk of shame. Number two, walking out of a store after you went in there and you did not purchase anything and you walk out with
Uh-huh.
nothing. And that's it. And then for me, number three, especially if you have kids, you know this, you've probably done this before, walking into any establishment, a restaurant, a store, using their restroom,
Uh-huh.
and then walking out and the employees notice you. They
Uh-huh.
notice that like to me, I'm like head down and I'm
Yeah.
like, don't,
Yeah. No eye contact, no
and
eye
it's like,
contact,
yes,
no
I
eye
did
contact.
just walk into this Jimmy
Yeah,
John's to the
right,
straight to the back, use the restroom because my kid had to go potty, and
right.
then walked out without getting a sandwich or something.
Yeah.
That's a walk of shame. And in fact, usually if they do notice me, I'm like, gotta get a bag of chips now, like gotta get a soda now.
Next time, just yell,
And
"Gluten-free!"
yeah,
Door.
sorry. Yeah, and they're like, we have gluten-free stuff now. I'm like,
So, yeah, I think
shit.
they have the unwich
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
that you could probably do.
Ah,
Damn it.
gotta turn back around. And then you gotta. So, like, that's my 3 walk of shames I can
Yeah.
think of there. I don't know if you have any others you can think of. Comment or comment
Taste.
or comment or whatever the hell you do these days to let us know your thoughts if you have a walk of shame.
Um,
You have
I
any
can't
others you can
think
think of?
of any other one that I've done, but I remember a story that my grandma told over and over again from when I was a teeny tiny baby. I mean, younger than Jace. And I was just, probably a few weeks old, couple months old, something like that. And she was just, first and only grandbaby. And so she
Yeah.
was just taking me all over the place, carrying me around, showing me off to everybody. Well, she took me to the grocery store one day, and it was back when those carrier, they had just come out with like
Oh
some
yeah, the like little
newfangled
baby
ones, and
carriers. Yeah.
put me in front of her and everything and carry me around so she didn't have to put me in the buggy or
Yeah.
anything. And so she's just carrying me around, patting me on the butt, showing me, "Oh, look how cute my little baby granddaughter is," and just showing
Yeah.
everybody.
Aw.
About halfway through, she realized that she had this kind of warm sensation on her
No.
stomach.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Looked down,
It's a
and
blowout.
it was a blowout all over her, right
Oh
there in the middle of the Piggly
no.
Wiggly.
Oh
And
no.
so she had
Oh
walked
God.
out to the car and changed me in the back of her damn
I
seat.
wouldn't go back into that Piggly
Yeah,
Wiggly for
yeah.
years.
Well, that's
No,
the
they
only one
recognize
within
me.
a 50-mile radius, so
Well, then I would pick a different store.
move. I would have
Yeah,
moved.
I'd move. I'd move. Yeah. See you later. That's a good one too. That's a very that's a real good one.
Oh,
Golly, there's several of those types of things,
mhm.
where you can have to do kind of that walk of shame, out
Yeah.
of places. Let us know, what yours, I'm just trying to think of a couple other ones. There's, um, gosh, I don't, there's some others I think that
Yeah.
I've felt. I can't remember them right now, but I remember feeling that type of same walk of shame feeling in
Uh-huh.
other situations. And so I'm going to try and think of them for next week. I'll see if I can remember them.
Okay.
I'll write them
Okay.
down if I can. But golly. All right.
Mhm.
With that said, we're already 41 minutes into this thing.
Yeah, we are.
So yeah, so we
And
got to
we've
go.
been interrupted by Jace. How did that happen?
I don't know. That's weird. We're
Oh, it must be
actually
good
should.
today.
I was gonna say, should you check on him? You think is
I've
he
got the
okay?
camera right here. I
Oh,
can
you
see
know,
him.
okay. All right, good. All right. Like 41 minutes and it's been completely quiet the whole time with the kids in the house and uninterrupted.
Must be the Grannies
I'd be
episode.
calling the police.
Got
Yeah.
him sidetracked. That's our
Oh
favorite
yeah.
one.
Oh, that is a good one. But they're only like 10 minutes long. So
I know.
he's been
Well,
watching a few of them.
I usually put on the YouTube, so it's like a
One
compilation. It's like a
after it.
2
Yeah,
hour
yeah, yeah.
compilation of the
Yeah.
best of
By
things.
the
So,
way, real quick side quest on that, and I don't want to offend any of
oh,
because
yeah, New
YouTube.
Year's.
Well, no, that's great too.
My New
Yeah, that
Year's.
was
Oh,
no, but that was a great idea.
oh yeah,
That
yeah.
was on YouTube. We did our countdown at 9 p.m. because they have
Uh-huh.
little generic countdowns on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so the kids
Yeah.
were like, yeah, it's midnight. And we get to count down. And they did the fireworks and everything and a dance party. And that was the coolest thing ever. So
Go to bed.
props to, yeah, exactly. And then we were in bed by 10. It
Mhm.
was fantastic.
Yeah.
No, but I was going to say, and I want YouTube to love us because I would love to monetize and have them run ads on here.
Right.
But we've got to do something about like on that type of thing. Have you ever gone on, and this is not just YouTube, this is like Netflix and all the places that now do ad supported things,
Uh-huh.
where ads pop up in the middle of a show.
Yeah.
We've been watching kids shows and like all of a sudden it's like death of the such and such. And it's like, what? And it's like a horrible ad
Oh,
for an adult show, not
did
an
it?
X-rated show or anything, but like a horror film or something weird
What was that
that's
on there?
more aimed to adults. In the middle of the show, I'm like, come on, what are you trying to do here?
I can't remember what it was, but
Be
we were
careful with
watching
that.
some kind of kids something, and it was,
Yeah.
and then up popped a ad, a movie trailer for this horror movie with
Yes, that's
what's
what
her
I'm talking
face, the
about.
curly-headed one from Ozark.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
And I'm
Yeah.
like,
No, I know. I think that may have been even the same preview that I saw, and we're just like, and
earmuffs.
like, yeah, exactly. Earmuffs, eyes closed, and they're like, "What do you mean?" And
Mm,
so, anyway, so I don't know
yeah,
whoever we got to talk to end that and make
right.
sure we do better with that. Please, please, we got to do it. All right, we got to go. I want to thank you for showing up today. I want to thank Jace for not coming in. I want to
Yeah.
thank Bluey for keeping him entertained and
Mhm.
whatever snacks you gave him this morning, which clearly are satisfying his hunger today.
Yes.
Usually that's the only reason he interrupts. Is like, more snacks, please.
See, like a little hand pop in
Yeah,
with fruit snacks and
exactly.
then disappear again.
Thank you to the nurses that took care of my dad's toe. Golly, you couldn't pay me enough money for that. Yeah, exactly. And we thank you for listening, following us, liking us, wherever you can do that, wherever you get your podcasts. We appreciate that. Flippin' Streeter, Make It Weird. Go check us out. Share it with somebody else. If you can share it with one person, that would be amazing. Like just share it with one other person.
Or
that
half
would,
a person.
Yeah, exactly. That would
Too.
somehow, if everybody just shared it with one person, that would triple our ratings. I don't know how that works, but no, I don't know. Any case, we'll see you back here next week.
Yeah.
Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.